Cancers, let's see what's going on. Maybe you need a little Dirk Diggler in your life. You pulled the Four of Swords upright. It's the card of chilling out. Well, maybe it's time just to chill out on how things are and process. I mean, this is a new moon that is, for you, happening in your third house, so it's kind of hard to chill. There's a lot on your mind. There's a lot of stimulation going on. It's kind of interesting looking at this card, seeing the sheep, like the sleep sheep, but then there's also like 9 inboxes. So it's kind of like, are you avoiding things? I'm reading cards uniquely as they show. I'm not going to always just stay with traditional aspects of cards. We're going to have to go deeper and see what the hell's going on here. I mean, Cancer, this is a big deal. Jupiter's now direct in your relationship house. Saturn and Pluto's there, and Mars is getting ready to square all that, and Mercury in Libra, which is your 4th house, is squaring all that relationship stuff. So it's almost like, are you asleep behind the wheel? Aries is your challenge. Definition, action, the strength. So maybe you're just kind of asleep at like not wanting to take the action that you really want to in your life. It's like those text messages are all getting collected and you're just kind of like, I don't want to deal with it right now. But that's the problem, is Aries has to direct itself and step into things. So you might be not feeling like you have enough energy to deal with it. You better, though, because look, you got the Ace of Cups upright. I mean, gee, many Christmas with the love, with the heart. It's not something just to sit back on, to take action to where you want to go. That's the challenge. Why you pull this Aries card? The Sun card, oh my gosh. Why aren't you doing what you truly want in your life? That's what's going to give you what you've always wanted, instead of staying stuck in. I'll be honest, if we're doing a love reading, this is a woman or a man. In this case, of course, it's a woman, but this is a woman or a man who's just like, I don't even want to look at my text messages from this person. I don't even want to like fucking deal with them. Ignoring texts, but that's how you know you're not in love. Wow, and you pulled the the Page of Wands upright, which is the card of like informational happiness, like getting a message of one you love, not sleeping on it. Or are you sleeping on the I should say this correctly. Are you sleeping on the text messages you don't want to hear, but you're not sleeping with the text messages that you do want to hear from somebody? But then you're too afraid to embody that who you are as the truth. I feel like there's a little bit of trouble in paradise. I feel like there's 2 people involved. One person that you're ignoring, that is the person thinking that's everything, and another person you're giving everything to, but you're also not giving anything to. So both parties aren't getting anything. Ooh, did I just call Cancers out? Ay. The Judgment card. This is your judgment week of whether or not you're about to have the ultimate emotional happiness in your life or not, and rising to the calling of the truth of the sun of the sun in Aries would be, of course, an exalted sun, right? So the exalted self that you are, instead of sleeping behind the wheel on the stuff that you really want and that you're excited about, only focus on what you're excited about and what's passionate to you. I would say that I think that this week you're over. I think that you're tired of being in a tired position of trying to help a hopeless situation. Your shadow. Is this me? Ooh, wow, look at you. Can't accept the real you of what you really want. And yeah, it's a sexual, passionate energy. Mars is the ruler of Aries. Oh, man. I don't even want to give you all the astrology because I think Cancers already know that they're being overblown by all these Capricorn energies, and this new moon in Virgo is in your third house. Like, what's stimulating, what's exciting, and with the trine of Saturn, only stimulating and exciting relationships, not fucking emotionally getting lost in an imbalanced judgment of what you don't want to emotionally go through. Venus square Uranus is the best kind of relationships are only going to work for the world that you want to be in. Instead of trying to be in a world and take something that's not of value or not of happiness and love and bring it in there. You pulled Libra moon in the 6th house. Yeah, I mean, this is time to clean out the emotional situations, dealing with partnerships, and also the reality. It's emotionally being in a reality with relationships that are really the life that you really want. I think that there's an escapism, because the opposite would be like with the Aries, and you have that as a challenge. I would say that the opposite would be that you're escaping through more of things that you kind of want. Like, so it's almost like, you know, maybe like, oh, I'm gonna go just take a drive in my car, or I don't know. There's something about avoiding, just like, there's a lot of avoidance with that Four of Swords here. Like, I just kind of want to not have to deal with all this shit, but you have to, because you're being judged by God on it. Hey, I'm trying to open you up the door to happiness and love, even if, you know, the Prince of Wands is showing up, which is the Page of Wands here. It's like, you're not gonna let that prince off. It's like Cinderella's story. It's like, hey, I've got a shoe. Whose glass slipper? Does it fit you? And you're like, it does, but I don't want to own that. And it's like, is this really me? It's kind of like how Cinderella would be like, well, I mean, is that really me? Yeah, you fucking wore the shoe, bitch. Like, fucking put that shit on. Fucking go take your nice life. But for some reason, Cancers are pulling the whole Cinderella story. No, I'm going to stay here in this house and mop and fucking...
Tap into like the lack of like self-worthiness.
Almost. Well, that's what Venus square Uranus will be this week.
Right.
It's actually, I don't think that they don't have self-worth. I think they're afraid of the world that it will take them to, because Cancers are most afraid of changing their home life, their emotional world. So it's like they know the value very well. They got the sun as the ruler. That's why they're the moon, right? So they're the queen, and the Leo is the king, right? So like when the moon's in, or any energies in Leo, that's their other throne, you know what I mean? Like they're fine there. So it's like, it's more about the fear of disruption by really stepping into who they are, which is their big destiny. Cancers only get what they really are if they step into who they are. Mars in the 10th, and it's retrograde. So you're switching that identity from 88 and turning it to now.
And you're worthy of embracing that change. You know, you have that power. You have it within you, and you are worthy. But again, you know, I think it goes back to that guessing. You know, that second guessing your intuition, second guessing that power that you know that you have within inside yourself, instead of actually just fully letting yourself be engulfed by that flame. You know, and going and getting it what you want. I think it might come down also to like that fear of rejection, so to speak. You know, when you do fully commit yourself, when you fully put yourself out there, there's always going to be that fear of rejection, that it's not going to be received the way that you want it to. But you can't be, as long as you're being vulnerable and putting yourself out there, it's going to work out either in a positive way, you'll get what you want, or you won't, but you're going to be able to build off of that. You're going to be able to say, okay, now I'm strong enough because I made it through this situation. It's always a learning process, whether that's learning from love or learning from pain.
Or holding on to, which would connect with what you just said, of holding on to pain and stuff, is by creating excuses.
Right.
I feel like it's a lot of excuses. I think we got 1,000. We just hit 1,000 and then it just left. So, if people want to stay, yeah, they'll get that 1,000 love collective reading, but we're moving on. I just watched it go to 1,000, then dip back to 900. So